Most people assume Maat Legal is just another software company. It's not. If you're an estate planning attorney who's thinking about leaving a big firm or partnership, or you've already gone solo and don't want to build all the infrastructure yourself, this is for you. My name is Ryla Stana. I've been an estate planning and probate attorney for years, and from the beginning, I've built my practice around teams and systems. I've never been the attorney answering the phones or personally doing the drafting. The reason I've had a successful career is because I focus on designing the practice and putting the right people and processes in place so the work gets done the right way. Maat Legal exists because most great estate planning attorneys want that kind of practice, a real business with real support, but they don't want to spend years figuring out hiring, workflows, technology, and management the hard way. So Maat Legal is a practice management company for estate planning attorneys. We're the behind-the-scenes team and operating system that lets you run a serious modern practice without becoming a full-time manager. Here's what Maat Legal is not. It's not another piece of software for lawyers to play with instead of practicing law. It's not a marketing company promising you a stream of leads if you just spend a little more each month. And it's not a platform that's trying to own your law practice or your client relationships. In estate planning, I see a lot of attorneys spending serious money and time on software that never actually helps them practice law. You can burn endless hours researching systems, setting them up, fixing them, and then just when it sort of works, it's outdated and you're starting over. I'm not saying this from the outside looking in. I often find myself in that same technology trap, wondering if the next investment will actually save time or just add more things to manage. That's why on the back of my Maat Legal vest and jacket, it literally says tech stack overload, because I know how easy it is to drown in tools instead of serving clients. At a high level, Maat Legal is an operating system plus a team built specifically for estate planning attorneys. We answer your phones and handle intake for you. Your calls don't ring to your cell or disappear into voicemail. Our team follows a consistent intake process so every potential client is welcomed, qualified, and scheduled the same way every time. We run your drafting workflow for you through the Maat Legal operating system, Maat OS. Every client starts with a unique password-protected link where they complete a secure personal inventory. Before you ever step into a meeting, my team can see whether that's done so you're not walking in blind. During the attorney meeting, whether you're in person with a laptop or on Zoom, Maat OS is open while you design the estate plan. As you talk through options, you enter real drafting instructions with the client right there, instead of trying to construct this later from memory. After the meeting, the client gets another unique link to review and approve those drafting instructions. If they want changes or have questions, they can flag them, or you can leave clear notes for our paralegal team. On the back end, a trained Maat Legal paralegal finishes the documents inside Maat OS, including any custom language you requested. You're giving clear directions to a trained person, not wrestling with a rigid template engine. You get accurate, customized documents without having to become a document assembly engineer. Because intake and drafting are part of one continuous flow in Maat OS, nothing gets lost in translation. The questions you ask, the choices the clients make, and the planning you recommend move straight into the drafting process instead of being retyped or reinterpreted later. You stay the lawyer, we handle the execution. You focus on advising clients and making judgment calls. We're the ones answering the phones, capturing the right information, and turning that into finished documents. You get real visibility into your practice. We track what's actually happening, how many calls are coming in, how many turn into consults, how long it takes to get drafts out, and where work might be getting stuck. You see your practice like a business, not just a pile of tasks. And you keep ownership of your law firm, your brand, and your client relationships. We're the infrastructure that lets you operate like a much bigger firm without having to hire a huge in-house team. Maat OS sits on top of a very specific intake process we use called the PIL method: positivity, identify, and lead. For estate planning client that shows up in what we call the personal family legal session, we treat it as a working session with real value. We charge for the meeting unless the client completes their personal inventory ahead of time through Maat OS. Once that inventory is done, my team sets expectation and quotes fees before the meeting, so the client comes in prepared. The attorney also gets to see how the client reacted to that conversation by reading the notes from that personal inventory review call. For probate and trust administration matters, we use a different path called the family administration session. Those leads are more urgent, so they're routed directly to our probate paralegals for deeper intake and next steps. The timing, questions, and follow-up there are built around families who are already in the middle of administration, not just planning. The point is, Maat OS and the PIL method work together. The software isn't a toy, it's the backbone of a reputable intake and drafting process that supports you in real meetings with real clients. If you're at a large firm or in a partnership, You might love estate planning, but hate the politics, the building expectations, or how little control you'll have over the client experience. The real question usually isn't, could I get clients on my own? It's, do I really want to build and manage all the intake systems, staff, and drafting infrastructure that comes with running a law firm? Maat Legal is designed to be that missing piece. You bring your legal skill, your reputation, and your relationships. We bring the phone answering, intake process, Maat OS, paralegal support, and reporting, so stepping out on your own doesn't mean stepping into 4 extra jobs. Maat Legal isn't for everyone. We're built for estate planning attorneys who already have or expect strong demand for their services, who think like owners and want to design a practice, not just have a job. We're for attorneys who want the freedom and upside of running their own firm, but would rather focus on clients and strategy than on building every process and system from scratch. If you're still figuring out your practice area or just trying to get your first client, you're probably too early for us. We're a force multiplier for attorneys who already know they can attract clients and want to build something durable around that. And we're not for attorneys who want to buy a piece of software and play around with it. Maat Legal is for attorneys who are serious about practicing law and ready to go to work with proven tools, people, and infrastructure. What gets me excited about Maat Legal is that it isn't just about making a back office more efficient. We're empowering good estate planning attorneys to step out of big structures, start or grow their own practices, and actually have support. When those attorneys have real infrastructure around them, they can serve more families and business owners at a higher level, spend more time on planning, strategy, and client conversations instead of chasing paperwork and logistics, and bring modern user-friendly estate planning to people who might never get in front of a lawyer otherwise. That's how you improve access to legal services, by giving talented attorneys the leverage they need to practice the way they know they should. Working with Maat Legal is straightforward. We plug your practice into our operating system. Phone answering, intake, Maat OS for inventory and drafting, paralegal support and reporting, and over the first few months, it starts to feel like you've always had a real back office, not a stack of tools you've been trying to manage yourself. We're at a moment where AI, automation, and client expectations are changing fast. AI and new tools are making it possible to do more, faster, with less friction. Clients expect responsiveness, clarity, and a modern guidance experience. And a lot of very good lawyers are questioning whether the big firm or traditional partnership model still makes sense for them. Maat Legal sits right in the middle of that shift. We're here to help serious estate planning attorneys build practices that actually fit this new landscape. If you're an estate planning attorney thinking, I could do this on my own if I had the right support, or you've already gone on your own and you know you need better intake, drafting, and back office infrastructure, that's exactly who we built Maat Legal for. Go to maatlegal.com to see how the system works and who it's for. And if you want to stay up to date on the tools and infrastructure that actually matter for running an estate planning practice, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.